Over the past 60 years, wealthy nations have sent more than $2 trillion in foreign aid to developing countries. Yet many of these nations remain trapped in poverty. Why does aid sometimes fail to break the cycle? The answer involves geography, institutions, and some uncomfortable truths about how aid actually works. Foreign aid comes in many forms: direct cash transfers, infrastructure projects, food supplies, and technical assistance. The goal is simple: help poor countries develop their economies and improve living standards. But the results have been mixed. Some countries, like South Korea and Botswana, successfully used aid as a stepping stone to prosperity. Others, despite receiving even more assistance, have seen little improvement. To understand why, we need to look beyond the money itself. Geography plays a crucial role that aid alone cannot overcome. Many of the world's poorest countries are landlocked, meaning they have no direct access to the ocean. This matters enormously for trade. Shipping goods by sea costs a fraction of land transport, and landlocked nations must negotiate with neighbors for port access, adding costs and delays. Countries near the equator face additional challenges. Tropical diseases like malaria reduce workforce productivity, while tropical soils are often less fertile than temperate regions. Extreme heat affects agricultural yields and makes physical labor more difficult. These geographic disadvantages create a persistent drag on economic growth that billions in aid struggle to offset. You cannot simply donate away geographical reality. Perhaps more important than geography are institutions, the rules, laws, and systems that govern how a society functions. Countries with weak institutions often struggle to use aid effectively, and sometimes aid itself can make these institutions weaker. When large amounts of aid flow into a country with corruption, much of it never reaches intended recipients. Government officials may divert funds to personal accounts or politically connected contractors. Even well-intentioned aid can create problems. When aid money flows directly to governments, it reduces their need to collect taxes from citizens. This might sound helpful, but it weakens the social contract. Governments that don't rely on tax revenue are less accountable to their people. Aid can also undermine local industries. When free food arrives in a poor country, local farmers cannot compete with free, causing them to abandon farming. When the aid ends, the country has even less food production capacity than before. This creates dependency rather than development. Aid is rarely purely altruistic. Donor countries often attach conditions or direct aid toward their own strategic interests. During the Cold War, both the United States and Soviet Union gave aid primarily to secure political allies, not to promote development. This pattern continues today in different forms. Additionally, aid can become a revenue stream that powerful groups fight to control. In some countries, ruling elites have an incentive to keep their nations poor and aid-dependent because they personally profit from managing aid distribution. Economic development might actually threaten their power by creating new wealthy groups who could challenge them politically. There is also the problem of absorptive capacity. A country needs educated workers, functioning infrastructure, and stable institutions to effectively use large amounts of aid. Pouring billions into a country that lacks these foundations is like trying to fill a bucket with holes. This doesn't mean all aid fails. Targeted interventions like vaccination programs, malaria prevention, and education initiatives have saved millions of lives and created measurable improvements. The key difference is these programs focus on specific, achievable goals rather than broad economic transformation. Countries that have escaped poverty typically did so by developing strong institutions, investing in education, encouraging private enterprise, and integrating into global trade networks. Aid can support these processes, but it cannot substitute for them. The most successful development stories involve countries that used aid as a temporary boost while building their own capacity for growth. The persistence of poverty despite massive aid flows reveals an uncomfortable truth. Development is complicated, and money alone cannot solve problems rooted in geography, institutions, and politics. Effective aid requires understanding these deeper challenges and working to address them, not just transferring wealth. The question isn't whether to give aid, but how to give it in ways that genuinely empower countries to develop on their own terms.